Well, now one more task two of IELTS we could discuss. For example, the topic I'm going to take now is about a job. Okay, so the topic could have been given to you like describe your nature of job. How long are you working, and is it a satisfied job? And what are the skills that you have learned out of this particular job? And what is the worst and best part of your job? So once the topic has been given, as I already told, it is 1 minute preparation time, 2 to 3 minutes non-stop you have to speak about. So once the topic has been given, preparation gets over, the topic once again could have been read by the examiner, and you have to speak on it for 2 to 3 minutes. So this topic is about a job, so I'm going to discuss in one way, various ways you could discuss. So once again, I'm reading the topic. Describe your nature of job. Is it a satisfied job? How long are you working? What are the skills that you have learned of this particular job? What is the best and worst part of the job? I could start saying, well, I'm a career oriented person. I'm an entrepreneur. I do educational service, which is my bread and butter. Though teaching is not my cup of tea, I have to get along with it. Yes, earlier I was working in various schools and colleges, but was not happy with the tedious job pressure and hectic schedules to meet. And yes, it was not a satisfying job to me. So I started my own organization. So today I am the boss and I have my own rules to frame, and it is only for the benefit as it is an educational service. Today, I am a teacher by profession. I learn a lot of this particular job. Almost 15 years, I am running my own academy, and this is an academy for the educational service I do for. I always make it a point that whatever I could say that I have learned to do, I have learned not to do, I could say, because in most of the schools and colleges and organizations wherever I worked, there is no respect for the job that you do. A proper increment or recognition or encouragement weren't there. Most of the places it was biased. That was the most important reason which provoked me to start something on my own. Touch wood, today I'm rocking. I could rule the roost and I'm very happy about it. Yes, my education service, I have a very good satisfaction because I can frame my own do's and don'ts, and I could stick on to that being a role model to my students. The first and foremost thing I look into it is about the punctuality, the attitude, and the perfect way of practicing things, putting your heart and soul in order to get the best result of whatever you need. So I just see to that, though I have so many students, especially in speaking and writing, I give individual attention. I never compare one student with another, and I discuss their weakness and their drawbacks very personally, and I help them to groom and overcome it. Rather, it's not to blame or bully or point out. Sometimes, it could mislead. My approach could have been misled. Some students would not find it very easy if their mistakes had been pointed out, but I do always justice to my job, I could see. So coming to the point of job satisfaction, always I keep certain parameters for the job satisfaction. The first and foremost, self-respect, and it should be intellectually stimulating, and professional grooming is mandatory. And apart from that, the most important thing is the financial viability. Yes, I get all the four things in my job, so I can call that I have the job satisfaction because I am the boss, I am the trainer, I am the teacher, I am the proprietor, and so I do play various roles. I have so many feathers in my cap. but always I be very particular to play the role well. So being a teacher, I make it a point I should be everyday learner, because I cannot take all the students for granted. Some could be average, and most of the students might know better things, but they don't know to speak. So they might have some subject knowledge. So this is not my subject, that is not my subject. I never ignore. To the core, I see to that I make myself aware of all the things that's happening in and around the country. Only depending on the media, medias or social medias, exclusively newspaper reading. At least 1 hour per day is mandatory in my life to learn vocabularies, to update myself, to know the current affairs, so that which could help me to speak and discuss with my students. Yes, of course, I could say this is the best part of my job. The worst part of my job, I could not say anything from my side, because it is educational business service. So the worst part at times, or if there is business is not good, and if there is less income, yes, of course, I could say worst part, because as I already told you, I am more like a kingmaker. Whether it is loss or profit, I have to face it all alone, being the sole proprietor. So this is one of the drawbacks, I could say, because there is none to support me. But by God's grace, all these days everything happened well, and I hope things will be better soon. Because currently we face this COVID-19 lockdown, which has really collapsed my business, and I find it really difficult to meet the demands. It is more like a survival business as of now. I do. Yes, I get a good satisfaction on the whole, and I have to learn a lot, because every student whom I face are of different mood swings, educational background, and their upbringing, their language, and their expectation, their demands varies. So just by seeing their educational performance, or their background, I cannot estimate, overestimate, or underestimate. So I need to deal with one and all more on psychology than the education service I do. Yes, of course, I have some subject knowledge. I be the best in my teaching profession, but I have to mold myself as per the expectation of certain students. Sometimes it is challenging and tricky. Yes, I'm learning that skill too. So I've learned a lot of behavioral skill, understanding the psychology of people, how to deal with one and all. And yes, I do the best, and I'm really happy to speak on this particular topic. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to speak about my job satisfaction and the job that I'm into. Thanks again.